Welcome to the Seraphine podcast. I'm Serafina Rocha, and I am with Chelsey Atia. Hello.
Hi.
We are back, and we are giving you a double dose of The Real Housewives. We're going to talk all things defining women and the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Sweatpants or ugly pants.
Yeah, leather pants, right?
Yeah.
Those, yeah. Oh, they look like sweatpants.
They do.
But I have to say, I own a pair of pants like that.
They're not that bad.
They're not. I think they're super cute.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll
get there.
I know we'll get there. So, defining women starts out with Erica and Sutton on a spa day. I actually think this is a very cute moment for the two of them. And I like to see that those two were in very similar situations with dating these prevalent men.
Yes. And Sutton, her little like gift bag for Erica for getting through divorce, she's really trying to take Erica under her wing almost in this situation because they both went through Erica going through and Sutton went through divorces with a lot of money involved and changes of lifestyle and everything like that. So I like Sutton's kind of like motherly touch for Erica, who doesn't need that.
No.
Also, that cryotherapy stuff, I've never seen that, but negative 111 degrees.
I know. Fucking talk about.
Whoa.
What is that? What is it colder than a witch's tit? It's so cold. I mean, like, seriously.
I can't imagine. I'm like, okay, how would you not die? I don't know. Anyways.
But the Ice Queen could take it, boy.
Yes.
She sure did.
And I like that
she
threw that in there.
Little
I thought
reference.
that
It was so great. I have to say, Crystal kind of overdid the I'm a tomboy in these two episodes.
Yes, she did.
We got her kickboxing. We got that she's in tennis. The kickboxing thing was interesting because I have to say, you see interactions with these women and their children.
Yeah.
And, you know, her daughter kind of having a tantrum and the way she kind of handles it, it really shows these kind of, I don't know. It shows sides to them that I'm like, okay, are we really this all put together? Like, how did you handle this?
Exactly. I thought the same thing. I was like, she called her daughter. Her daughter's almost bossing her around. She's like, I'm not a princess. And she's like, okay. I mean, just not a lot. I don't know.
No, there wasn't a lot of discipline there. And for someone who's such a tomboy and tough, and I'm defending myself, I'm like, you can barely defend yourself with your daughter. So I don't know about that, Crystal. Erica, you know, we get this vulnerability back to Sutton and Erica.
Yeah.
We see these vulnerable kind of conversations. Erica's really playing this world's smallest violin with, I was Roxy Hart on Broadway and Tom never came to see the show.
Yes. Yeah.
She wasn't on Broadway that long before it closed.
Right.
So, you know, whether Tom would come or not, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I think he paid for her career. I think he would want to see a return on his investment, but I don't know about this. She makes it sound like, you know, she's really framed it up that he's just this cold-hearted, you know, person.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's so strange because it's such a flipperoo from when she first came on the show and saying his praises about how he supports her.
Yeah.
And again, if we're going to talk about support for support's sake, whether it's financial or emotional, the bottom line is that, I mean, a season or two ago, she was in tears across from him saying, thank you so much for believing in me. So I'm like, okay, so now it's like, we get it. He's a controlling guy, but I'm just having a really hard time with this.
I know, and it's hard with that documentary that came out of her and him, and to kind of feel sympathy. But at the same time, I mean, we literally have no idea, like, when you're in her world, like what that was like. Maybe it was, sometimes he was supportive and empathetic, and she like flocked to that kind of attention. Yeah. And then she kind of reserved back to her Ice Queen when maybe she matched his energy.
Yeah. I think I don't know, it's funny because on the whole polar scale of opposites, we go into Garcelle and Kyle's worlds with their kids. Yeah. And, you know, they're not so concerned. We're not having too much marriage talk or fighting talk. We're talking about their kids now. Yeah. And, you know, I have to say, Kyle and Mauricio, I love the way their daughters, even though it was a bit intense.
It was. But it honestly gave me, like, I teared up a little bit because, I mean, it was very dramatic.
Yeah. But it was also during the height of COVID when they filmed this. So I guess we're a little removed from it. Yeah. But it was sweet. I love Mauricio's just a good father.
He is.
And their Christmas card so cute too. I love their dynamic.
Me too.
They seem healthy. But I have to say, poor Garcelle.
Yeah. Her boys are like,
God.
They're little. I understand, and she acknowledges this as well. Like, they're going through puberty. They're 13 years old.
Yeah.
Hormonal things. But that's no excuse to treat your mom the way they treated her. They were like bossy and snotty.
Yeah, and
I'm
dismissive.
like, that's not cute.
Jax and what is it, Jade?
Yeah.
Jax and Jade. I mean, Jade, I wanted a backhand.
I know.
I mean, I'm like looking at him. I'm like, wow, you are just so disrespectful.
Yeah. And to a single mom.
I know.
Who went through so much. I mean, it just.
And it's not like these kids are wanting for naught. I mean, he's got his Japanese tutor on there.
I know.
So I don't know. They've got to go into their gentleman because Garcelle is such a lady.
She is, and it was interesting to see that because I would assume her kids would be of their utmost behavior.
Yeah.
Because that's just how she is.
Yeah.
But, they do have a father as well. So.
And she did say that whole thing about, they say, I miss mom when they're with dad. Yeah. And then when they're with, mom, they miss father.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We also have the dynamic in children of, oh my gosh, Rinna.
Yes.
And now Amelia is dating Scott Disick. Mm-hmm. It was interesting to watch everyone have a kind of a commentary about it.
It was funny. Dorit's like, Mazel tov or not.
Yeah, totally.
Even though everyone knew everything already. They had seen it. They're just waiting to talk about it. They can't wait.
And I loved how everybody, again, kind of served up where they were at. Like, for instance, Erica and Tom. Erica was 28 when she married him, I think, and Tom was 61.
Yeah.
Then Harry Hamlin with Ursula was what? He was she was
44.
44.
And he was like in his 20s.
44, 29.
Yeah.
That was their age. And then they had their kid, Dimitri.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting how when he was asked later on at the Bolognese dinner that he basically said, look, it's not my favorite. I acknowledge the age difference, but hey, I was in it too.
Yeah. And someone said, I can't remember who it was, said like there could be, Kathy Hilton.
Yep.
She said, I know very well what it's like to have daughters in the spotlight, and I can tell you it could be much worse.
Yeah.
And she's absolutely right. I mean, just let her do it. It's not like that's uncommon in Hollywood, clearly.
Kathy Hilton has really become the funny voice of reason in so many ways. I mean, from that to, I absolutely loved when all things Sutton and Crystal blew up, not only once in the first episode, but twice in the second. What was it? Hunky Dory.
Oh my God!
What was it? I love that.
Who's Hunky Dory?
Who's Hunky Dory? I don't even know what who brought up who, like
Sutton.
Sutton said something like.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Sutton is highly reactive and she's very insecure. So why this got brought up again is not because the violate. Sutton was wanting attention because she didn't bring a gift for Garcelle. As soon as she saw people, and
these were nice gifts.
They were nice gifts, and they were partnered with people.
And she was
I
left
can
out.
understand that she would have felt left out. I mean, if you're the only one in a group and everyone else has like chatted about going in on a gift together, I would have felt left out too.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to be there, and she didn't want to say that. So she then turned it into, I think the fact that like Crystal and I think Kyle went in on a gift.
It was Crystal, Kyle, and Kathy.
Yeah. Went in on the Cartier. Was it a Cartier ring?
Yep, I think so.
Together, that really rubbed her the wrong way that Crystal was involved and she wasn't.
And the thing that's so crap about that was Crystal actually did it because Garcelle made reference to her ring and said it's so beautiful. So Crystal was like, well, I'm going to go in with the Hilton sisters and, because, it's a pretty pricey ring.
Right.
But it was cool to see that she was actually thinking deep about what Garcelle, or at least making a mental note of what she likes. I think the hard part is that, Kathy Hilton is this very, she is. Everyone is seeking her friendship.
Yes.
And
she's like the most powerful of all these women.
She really is. And Crystal, playing tennis at the tennis court. Having Kathy as a friend is absolutely like, it's a plus.
It is.
And I think Sutton feels a little bit like, okay, and she's being disrespected by Kathy. Not really disrespected, because Kathy does a lot of tongue in cheek, but she did that whole Thomasina, the first dinner with that awful bow. What was that outfit?
I don't
Sutton.
know. But okay, talking about outfits, Kyle looked adorable.
Oh, Kyle just killed it these last 2 episodes.
Has. But anyways, that's what I thought, the same thing. I was like, what is this bow?
The bow was way too much. And she looked like a crazy Mad Hatter. And she acted like a crazy Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
And again, I like Sutton. I do like her.
Yeah.
I think after these episodes, I think she's kooky. She's fun. But I have to say, she's got to chill out. And frankly, I think she would have looked a little bit more classy if she said, oh my gosh, I feel awful. I didn't bring a gift, and my head has been so in a spiral because I feel like you guys are kind of making fun of me about the Thomasina thing, because Kathy made reference to it again as soon as she comes over to Renna's.
Are we starting this again?
And it's uncomfortable. It gets you in your head, and I totally understand that.
Yes, I agree.
It was interesting. I think I don't know. Any other things in this episode that really strike out besides the pink Hermes bag that Dorit was carrying?
Yes. I thought about you in this too, because I know your love for Hermes as well. The only thing is, like, do you think that violate was the right word to use?
You know, I think that it's stupid. It's logistics. I feel like when people get so, it's
nitpicky,
minute details. At the end of the day, I think it's stupid to just go take the word back, because frankly, it was after rewatching it 5 times that they've played it, I do have to say this. Sutton is entitled. She knocked on the door, and Crystal was like, hey, like she did give her like a little warning. And then Sutton goes, oh, no big deal, no big deal. And it's like, actually,
that's her room.
It is her room. And frankly, if I was buck naked and I had somebody who I just met and they're coming in like they own the place, I would feel a little violated. And I have to say, after rewatching it, I was like, yeah, I think I would probably not use the word violated. I would say to Sutton, you come off as pretty entitled that you think you can just come into my room like this. That I can understand. Violated, I do think that the way it got twisted was when she described it to Dorit and was kind of bringing in that like, ew, she's like a weirdo who's like looking at my body.
Yeah.
And then when she started to bring in the eating disorder thing, it was like all of these things that kind of twisted just the basic etiquette of like, don't go into someone's room that you just met.
Yeah, I think you explaining that is perfect, because it could have been pretty quick, just miscommunication almost. And they made it into, I mean, they had to have a storyline. So I get it. But
they had to fill it all. But good news is that coming up, we have got 2 things that was interesting. I love that Crystal, I love how they're like in the scenes coming up. Crystal's like, you're an inappropriate, awkward person.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing ever, because it's inappropriate and awkward. Sutton is those things.
She is. She is.
And I don't think she's evil. I don't think she's evil, but she's inappropriate and awkward. And she's going through so much crap right now.
She is. I totally agree. But then we also get into more of Erica's stuff. So we'll see. You know, I started watching the documentary, but I haven't finished it. So I don't have quite the same like opinion about Erica as you do right now. But looking at the upcoming episode, I'm like, okay, I actually feel bad. She's like, could be the end, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I think that I might change it once I watch the documentary. It's interesting. And the thing that bothered me was literally, she says, word for word, she's saying, people saying her divorce is a sham to hide his assets. Yeah.
She literally spells it out to where I'm like, oh, I just feel like she got some talking points from good old Tom.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
She's very convincing right now.
Yes, she is.
She's doing a good job.
Yeah, she is. And the ladies are doing great with like petting her and whatever.
Do you think that they know like what's really going on?
I think that as women, we're in a place now where we need to support each other.
Yeah.
I think it looks like shit if we
question,
and especially when it comes to divorce. And to be fair, Tom was rude to quite a few of the women in that group.
Yeah.
And I do think that, you know, to take a side in this day and age, it's important to support females. But I do think that these women reserve the right, and they all should be able to reserve the right, that if it comes out in the wash that Erica is not this female empowerment woman who got screwed over by her husband, I think it's fair enough for them to retract the "we got your back, girl," because, you know, I that's my personal opinion, but who knows? Maybe I'm going to be the one eating my words.
Well, and then one last thing is I kind of anticipate the one person that might not be so on her team is actually Sutton, because if you've seen the highlights, they get into a really awkward, intense moment coming up at a dinner. So we'll see like what the context was of that, but I imagine it's something to do with her divorce and what's going on.
And if one thing about Sutton, she may be weird, but Sutton is, to me, she's the real deal. She is a real deal. And I think what will piss her off is if she's like, I thought we had some camaraderie here, sister. And then she turns out that Erica's playing up the Erica Jane. So anyway, well, thank you so much for watching us dish all things Real Housewives.
Love it.
As always, it's so fun to dish with my beautiful girl, Chelsey. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please hit the like, click, subscribe button and tell us your thoughts about all things Housewives. Thanks so much.